What's going on, my comrades? It's your boy, coach of the Carolina Masquerains, Frank and the Furious, here, finally, with a Pokemon World Championship Draft League draft recap. We are in the PWC Season 4, the Masquerains expansion year. And I see by the promotional video, we got a lot of Masquerains supporters. I hope raise up that Masquerains hype so I can continue to pay Masquerains man to promote the team. But draft recap here. So you're probably wondering, because some of you might not have ever seen Draft League before in Pokemon, so I'm going to explain that to you real quick. Pokemon Draft League is, think of it like sports in a way. You get a certain number of coaches, typically around from like 8 to 16. I believe for this we have 10 coaches, as I'm one of them. And you will draft a certain number of Mons. And as you can see here, with 11 rounds, we have drafted 11 Pokemon. Pokemon end up getting organized in tiers in most cases. Very few cases there's a free draft where you can basically draft whatever, with few exceptions, because there are Pokemon that are banned. Like, stuff like Dialga and Arceus are way too good to be used in Draft League format, but like, stuff like Machamp or Blastoise, that's fair game. And like, it's good, but it's not the best. It can easily be countered. So, you draft a certain number of those months. Here we drafted 10. And for each week of the season you'll have a season where you'll be playing other coaches and then a playoffs, just like a sports league. You'll be prepping 6 Pokemon for each of your matches, because 6 Pokemon, you can bring less than 6. There's no requirement saying you have to bring 6. So maybe one week I'll get very, very confident and be like, we only need 3 Mons. We're just going to win turn 1. I could if I was really cocky, but probably not. So the draft and the PWC, because the PWC is different than a league I've ever been before, because there are different rules. Now, in the competitive format, you'll see a lot of rules, typically stuff like sleep clause, where you can only put one Pokemon on your opponent's team to sleep. If you put multiple, that enacts sleep clause, and you can't do that. That's not fair. But the PWC has interesting rules. Biggest rule: you have a signature Pokemon, that is tier 3 or lower. There are 5 tiers, so it's not the best Mon. It can be serviceable, but it's not the best Mon. Now you're saying, what's the signature? The signature has to come every week, no matter what. If it doesn't come, immediate forfeit. You get immediate loss. So my signature has to come with me every single week, whether I like its matchup or not. In round 1, everyone had to draft their signature. So if round 1 seems my round 1 pick seems really confusing, yeah, this is why. Because I needed to draft my signature here. Now, other rules. Actually, this one is not a big rule, but Mega Pokemon. This league only allows 1. I have seen instances where leagues can allow you to draft multiple, but typically it's only 1. Sometimes you don't even have to draft 1. It's just, if you don't want one, you don't want one, but you probably should, because Megas are pretty good. Stuff like Dynamaxing, Z-moves, all banned, which makes me happy, because I hate Dynamaxing with a burning passion. Same goes with Z-moves. I used to play competitive back in Gen 6 as the coach of your Edmonton Escadrilles, but now they have relocated to Raleigh, North Carolina, and have rebranded as the Masquerains. So, new team, new look. Now, into the draft. Like I said, round 1, we had to draft our signature. So, as my signature pick, I ended up grabbing Mienshao. Now, Mienshao. One thing I really love about this Mon, you look at that attack stat. Amazing. 125 is beautiful. Now, add it with its ability, Reckless, which its ability, this Pokemon's attacks with recoil or crash damage have 1.2 times power. So you know that move, High Jump Kick, which is, a 130 base power move, 90% accurate, and if I miss, I take crash damage. That boosts it, coupled with that 125 attack, and if I put a Choice Band, which increases my attack by 1.5 times, that thing hits like a truck if it's not looking at a Slowbro or a Ghost type. So I'm like, thinking to myself, I can bring Bandit every week, basically. I'm not. Spoiler alert, I'm not. But Mienshao is just, I think it's very serviceable. And it doesn't even have to be Bandit. It can be Scarf. 105 speed. That's a really good tier to hit. Scarf, I will outspeed any of the mythical Pokemon. I can jump ahead of stuff like Raikou and Tapu Koko that might threaten Mienshao. A Crobat. So, it's not like Bandit is the only option, especially when this Pokemon has another interesting ability, Regenerator, which allows me to recover 1/3 of my HP every time I switch out. So, it doesn't have a lot of bulk. It's piss poor, quite fact. But in a pinch situation and with some clever planning, Mienshao could be a serviceable tank. Kinda. It could take a hit, maybe. Maybe like an Assault Vest or something like that. I don't know. Maybe like that. So, that was my first round pick. Mienshao. His signature pick, so it's kind of a wash. I was near the end. No. I was at the beginning of the first round. The way they did the draft was very confusing, where so all the odd number rounds were randomized, and all the even number rounds were the reverse of the odd or even number round before it, or odd number round before. Okay, so basically, if I drafted third round 1 out of 10, I was drafting 7th in round 2, and then in round 3, it would get randomized and say I drafted at 8th round 3. I would draft at 2nd, or no, 3rd. Out math. You know what I mean. It's a partial snake, but you chop the snake into little pieces. It's like the "Don't Tread on Me" flag with all the states. It's kind of like that. Sure, we'll say that. That's what the draft was like. The "Don't Tread on Me" snake. So, my next pick was kind of a later in the round pick. I was near the front of round 1, so I was in the back for round 2. So, I ended up with that round 2 pickup. I pick up Latias. I love Latias. It's one of my favorite go-to Pokemon in competitive. I think this thing is incredible. This thing can do so much. I mean, just looking at its base stats, how solid that is. It's 110 speed. That's an amazing tier. Special attack, also 110. That's really good. Special defense, 130. This thing eats up special hits like a champion. Plus, you couple it with this amazing moveset. You get Draco Meteor, one of the hardest hitting dragon moves in the game. Excellent Psychic Stab. A bunch of coverage like Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball. And then you don't even have to run coverage. You can run Calm Mind to set up. You can run screens. You got Light Screen. You can run interesting sets with like Reflect type, or maybe even Roar. I be honest, I haven't seen it. Or like Tailwind to boost the speed of the team, or Trick to choice an opponent's Pokemon. This thing has so much it can do. It can be super versatile. It gives us a defogger too, which is amazing. That helps us remove hazards. So Jasmine the Latias. Oh yeah, I didn't mention nicknames. Mienshao is Sensei Wu, and Latias is Jasmine. I name a lot of Pokemon I have after people I like, some of their nicknames, and Pokemon I had from Nuzlocke, and Jasmine is one of them. So that Latias pickup I'm very happy with. Amazing Dragon type, one of my favorites to use in the format in general. But I need to start complimenting Latias. And the next pick, it's kinda interesting because in round 3, I pick up a Alolan Muck. I pick up a Alolan Muck because I think this thing couples amazingly with Mienshao. I know I just said Latias, but I mixed up the picks. Alolan Muck, very solid bulk. Very good attack. Alolan Muck also gets a wide variety of coverage. Like, first off, we get Knock Off, amazing move, let alone, and Stab. The Gunk Shot, incredible poison type move, so we're scaring off fairies at least. And I mean, we have a lot of coverage to work from. We got Ice Punch, we got Rock Slide, we have Shadow Sneak for priority, Thunder Punch, Stone Edge. This thing can do a lot. It can run stuff like Curse for setup, Haze to get rid of setup. And the reason I really liked it, Alolan Muck can get Pursuit. Why Pursuit? Pursuit is a move, a 40 power dark type move that doubles if the opponent switches out. The reason I really like Pursuit on Alolan Muck here is because Mienshao, as a fighting type, cannot hit ghost types. If my opponent has a good ghost type and he brings it, then Mienshao, I can at no point in good conscience click high jump kick because the ghost type could always be coming in. Alolan Muck gives us the option to give us a Stab, Pursuit, and I come in and I trap it. It paves the way for Mienshao to do a lot better. It deals with those psychic and ghost types Mienshao does not like. And it gives us some sort of stuff to deal with fairies for Latios, because fairies are broken. So that's the Alolan Muck pick, who is named Jack Edwards, because I hate him. I hate Jack Edwards with a passion. So round 4 comes by, and I see one Pokemon still on the board in my, this was like late at night when I made this pick too, so this was not a pick I made under, in 100% condition. This pick was made, kind of just because I felt like it. But it fits really well. And for round 4, we snag up Manaphy, another one of Pokemon I love using in competitive for one reason. Manaphy gets Tail Glow. Now, if you don't know what Tail Glow is, it's a move that raises my special attack by 3 stages. That's pretty good. That's pretty good if you ask me. That is times 3 attack from one click of a move. Excellent trade-off. One of the few Pokemon that can learn this. Manaphy can go from, it's fine, to instantly taking over a game by clicking one move. So I think that's a pretty good win here. I mean, you look at its stats, base 100 across the board, the mythical Pokemon. This thing is naturally bulky. It can take hits, get up a Tail Glow, and just fire back with a cannon. It's got a lot of other options too. It could be a Rain Calm mindset. This thing also has some very interesting coverage. I mean, Energy Ball to deal with bulky water types that want to get in the way of my Stab Water. We got Dazzling Gleam. What else we got? We got, of course, Ice type coverage. We got, Signal Beam. Signal Beam's back for this one. Shadow Ball. This thing has very good coverage. And it comes with U-Turn, which I didn't mention with Mienshao. I don't know if I'd ever run U-Turn on Manaphy, but it's there. It is there as an option. Base 100 attack, that's something to sneeze at. I mean, Tail Glow is pretty much the play almost every time, but I mean, physical Manaphy. I'm just going to plant that seed so you can insult me in the comments below. But when it works, who will be the one laughing? So the Manaphy pickup. Very happy with, even though I didn't make it under the wisest conditions. But Church the Manaphy will be joining the team after a long-awaited return. I used this thing like crazy back in Gen 6, and I used it awfully. But now I know a lot more, so yeah. Hopefully, man, good old Church is going to put in the work. He's going to take him to Church, hopefully. So round 5 comes around. I need a Steel type. or a fairy type help complete that Dragon Fairy Steel core, because that's an amazing core that every team should have. Same with a Fire, Water, Grass. Very good solid trio of mons. So I'm thinking, what do I want to complement Latias with? Do I want to complement it with make it an offensive core or a defensive core? And this is where I kind of go in the direction of liking defense, as round 5 with knocking out 2 birds with 1 stone. I grab my Mega and my Steel type with good old Mega Aggron as the pick. Good old Agronics is joining the team, my boy from the ACL. He joins the team, and I mean, look at that defense. That defense alone, I will never be investing into defense because it tanks hits like a champ. As Negan would say, taking it like a champ. It gives us a defensive wall. This thing alone will deter many physical attackers. Many. This thing alone, just from the sheer weight of its defense. This gives me an excellent stealth rocker. It allows me to get up hazards, and it's got a very fun moveset for a defensive mon. You get Roar to prevent setup. You get Taunt to prevent setup. You get Toxic, obviously. You get Thunder Wave. This thing can Thunder Wave. That's pretty epic, if you ask me. And if I wanted to be a big brain, this thing gets Curse. I can set up with this thing. This thing gets Autotomize. I can put speed on this. So why don't we? Why don't we? We'll see. We will see. It gets Counter. So if its Pokemon is stupid enough to say, ha, I click physical move, I can say, ha, and then Javelin it back, probably impaling it through its head. Because, oh my god, this thing hits like a truck. I mean, 140 is nothing to sneeze at, uninvested. It gets Earthquake, Heavy Slam. Heavy Slam's going to be doing a lot to a lot of things. It's stuff like Stone Edge, Superpower. It's good ice stat, or not stab, but ice type moves with Avalanche. Or, yeah, wait, does it get? Yeah, Ice Punch. I didn't see it there. Ice Punch. Oh, like Latias, this thing has an amazing moveset. It's 9 times out of 10 going to be like a max HP, max special defense, careful nature. But who knows? In some weeks, it could be an offensive threat. Who knows? I mean, this thing gets the bulk to take a hit, especially with stability. Filter, beautiful ability. It decreases the effectiveness of super effective moves on it. So, like, yeah, if you got a Terrakion and you're clicking good old close combat, the filter is going to help make Aggron take it better. I mean, it reduces the damage from super effective moves by 25%. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. I would say so myself. So, yeah. Filter's pretty cool in this thing. So, round 5 goes by. And this pick, I drafted it a bit early. What I ended up doing. But, nonetheless, I got that fairy type to complete the core. And there wasn't many good fairy types left on the board. So, I decided I'm going to go knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. Get a grass fairy type. And that's when we pick up good old Mississippi, the Whimsicott. You're probably looking at Whimsicott right now. You're just looking at stats alone and say, this thing is garbage past speed. And to that I say, now hold your horses, dear cowboy. You don't say that in the wild, wild west or else you get shot. That's what happens. Okay? That's what happens. Because Whimsicott has the amazing ability Prankster, which basically means all status moves have priority from it, except against dark types. And they're saying, alright, that's cool and all, but like, you're not a punch, punch, kick, kick, attack. Whimsicott gets very good status moves. I mean, this thing can get a priority defog off. So if I need to get rid of hazards in a pinch, this thing does it very well. I can get to +3 defense through Cotton Guard instantly, regardless if something is faster than me or not. And I mean, that 85 defense, that's not that bad. That's not that bad. I mean, Leech Seed, amazing recovery move. Same goes with Synthesis. Or does it get Synthesis? I don't think it does. Oh, here was I, but a fool. Doesn't get Synthesis. I don't know. I thought it did. Oh well. I mean, it gets stuff like Taunt, like I mentioned before. Tailwind, double the speed. Switcheroo, which is Trick. I can Stun Spore. I can want to paralyze something right then there. Memento. Memento is very interesting. It's a move that kills myself, but lowers the opponent's attack and special attack by 2 stages. Now, why would I want to do that? So I can now, I Memento on something, and I could go into Manaphy. I can go into Mienshao. I could either start setting up or just clean house, basically. So, Memento is a very useful move. And, like I said before, I get Light Screen. This thing can couple with priority Light Screen. That's pretty good. And you know, for a fairy type, you could do worse. You could do worse. It gets its job done. And I really liked it as a prankster mon. I feel like a lot of my teams lack that, a good status user. I feel like in this instance, we really hit the nail on the head. I could have drafted it later, looking back on it, but it was an important pickup to me. So I kind of had to grab it this early because just through sheer necessity. Now, round 7 comes along, and I see a beautiful Pokemon still on the board. And, oh, you know, I had to grab it. Team member of the good old Texas Turtwigs, Young Swine, the Piloswine, has been lent to me by good old Josh, my boy, for the season in the PWC. Piloswine, beautiful mon. This gives us another amazing Stealth Rocker. Coupled with a Eviolite, this thing can tank super effective hits like nothing. Thick Fat Eviolite. What is a fire type move? Nothing. It is hogwash, that's what it is. Young Swine is a champ among Pylos. Okay? And it gives us some priority. Because I don't know if I had priority yet up to this point. I don't think, no, I did with Shadow Sneak Muck. But it gives us more with Ice Shard. And that's pretty good for stuff like Garchomp. Well, and that's running amok. I mean, Stab EQ is always great. 100 attack, that's very good. So, Pylo can hit back. It's not a sitting duck when it comes out. It can hit back like a champ. Like I said, it gives us an amazing Stealth Rocks user. Another good Pokemon to utilize stuff like Toxic, stuff like Roar. Like, this thing is like, it's a different form of Mega Aggron as a ground ice type, which takes off the pressure for Mega Aggron to run rocks. And I really like that. I really like that for Piloswine. The Ice Ground, I needed both of those stabs on my team, and now I got it, and I'm very happy with this pickup. So, Young Swine joining the Masquerains for this season. I cannot wait. So, round 8 comes by. I see a powerhouse is still left on the board, and I can still grab it up. I can still grab it up. So I do. I need a fire type. I need a rapid spin blocker. I pick up Chandelure. Look at that special attack, 145. Couple this thing with heavy duty boots so I don't have to take Stealth Rock. This thing, and like Manaphy, just by clicking one move, this thing can take over a game. It is amazing. I love this thing. This thing is beautiful, especially with the new addition of heavy duty boots, and I love its abilities. Stuff like Flash Fire, which makes me immune to Fire-type moves. Yeah, so already, Fire types have the worst matchup against my team. 2 weaknesses I've already had so far are not really weaknesses because of Filter and Thick Fat, and Whimsicott dies to anything, so it's not really, it's a powerhouse. So, Flash Fire is pretty good. And its hidden ability, Infiltrator. This thing doesn't care whether you set up like a reflector, a light screen, or a substitute. It's gonna hit ya. And I love that. I love it. I love this thing. I mean, and it also has amazing coverage. I mean, you think about it, stabs, it's got Fire Blast and Shadow Ball, 2 amazing moves. It gets Psychic. Good old Psychic coverage. It gets Energy Ball. Water types aren't a problem for this thing. And another Pokemon that can utilize Memento. Very interesting. It can also have Taunt, Trick, or if I really wanted to get creative, Trick Room. It has Will-O-Wisp. This thing, Haze. This thing can do a lot. It's got few jobs, but it does those jobs very well. I know I just said it does a lot, but like it does and it doesn't. Like the jobs it does are unmatched. Okay, this thing is incredible. That's all really I have to say with this thing. I think this was a steal picking up in round 8. This is a Pokemon I could see going as high as 3, round 2, round 3. It is just very solid in my opinion. I'm very happy to pick it up. So, round 9 comes on the board, and this is where I have chosen my first rival for the season. So, I'm looking at picking up Scolipede. Now, just so you know, I haven't planned my draft for this. I'm drafting round by round, basically. I'm thinking a little ahead, but by round 8 is when I'm like, okay, this is how I want the team to come together. I wanted to get Scolipede as my next pickup, and I got punished by the Hax Gods. Hax Gods? No, Snipe Gods. As I snipeth people with Pylo, I get snipeth myself with Scolipede 3 picks before me. I sat on it a little too long. Granted, I only realized I probably should draft it like middle round 8. So, I kind of prioritize Chandelure, who is named Tremaine, by the way, after the stepmother from Cinderella. Because why not? I think it's a cool name. Up next, round 9. I wanted Scolipede because I think it could be a good physical sweeper to clean up games, and it gets spikes and T-spikes, more hazards. Sadly, it goes, so now I have to look for a replacement. And I think I didn't do half bad with my replacement as I snag up Nihilego. While Nihilego is a special rather than physical, like Scully, it's T-spikes. And it gives me the very interesting combo of Rock and Poison. And it has good coverage itself with Electric type coverage with Thunderbolt, Dazzling Gleam. It also gets Grass Knot for water type. So this thing gets it's a good amount of coverage, Psychic type coverage. So I think this thing is... I'm not complaining that I got this. I preferred Scolipede, but this is the next best option, and I'm happy. Because with Beast Boost, I can basically run it as a Speed Boost Pokemon with more speed than Special Attack or Special Defense, so that it can just start running. So yeah, I really like this thing. Well, I couldn't get Scolipede. I'm still very happy with this pick. I'm still very happy. It gives me that Toxic Spikes, which are amazing in this meta. So, and I know it gives me another Poison type, but this one gives me a kind of a better check to Fairies, because Alolan Muck's issue is that it's also Dark type, so it takes Neutral. So, more like Nihilego and Mega Aggron together, they're going to be the Fairy Hunters with Chandelure, basically, as resist-wise. And Aggron and Nihilego have super effectives in the Alolan Muck, but you know what I mean. These are the Fairy Hunters. So I kind of like that. I like that a lot. Also, it gets Stealth Rock. So if I really felt, you know what, Stealth Rock, T-Spikes. This thing is my hazard setter. Why not? Why the flip not? So round 10 comes by. I've kind of made up my mind for the rest of the team, but I'm very happy with it because I realize I'm kind of ground weak. You look at Alolan Muck, weak to Earthquake. Aggron, I know we have Filter, but still a little weak. Chandelure, weak. Nihilego, 4 times weak. And our only resist is Latias, which levitates, and Whimsicott, which it's still going to take a good chunk from an EQ. So I'm like, alright, I don't like this nonsense of EQ anymore. And I snatch up a good old Rotom fan. I need an electric type, but I didn't want to get more ground weak, so I grabbed one that flies. And yes, I know, this thing is a flying type with the ability Levitate, which is why I'm nicknaming it Air Balloon just for sheer redundancy. You know what? It may be like the worst out of the Rotom forms, but it's still pretty solid. I mean, the only difference between it and the other Rotom forms is that 1, it's flying type, and 2, it gets Air Slash. Other than that, this thing defogs. This thing can set up a nasty plot. It's still got stuff like Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Trick, Will-O-Wisp. This thing can still put in work. Okay? This thing can still put in work, and with, like I said before, with heavy-duty boots, preventing hazards, this makes this thing a much better hazard removal because it doesn't have to take 25% to Stealth Rocks. So, Rotom is pretty fine pickup. You could do worse. For being the worst Rotom form, yeah, I'll take it. And I mean, it's got pretty good natural bulk. I mean, 107s in defense and special defense, 86 speed. That's pretty good. This allows this thing to kind of be offensive, run Trick, Scarf, stuff like that. It gives this thing a lot of options. Options that I like to see. Options that I really like to see. So, as my last pickup, this is kind of where the not having Scolipede hurts because I don't really have a massive physical force outside of Mienshao. I'm very special orientated. So I kind of need to shift back the other way, which is why I grab, with my last pick of the draft, pick number 11 in round 11, good old Ricky, Zangoose. I like this thing. What was that voice card? I like this thing. I like this thing because 115 attack. That's pretty good. Oh, it has an ability, which if poison, its attack power is multiplied by 1.5. That's pretty good. Oh, you couple that with its amazing coverage like Close Combat, Fire Punch, Ice Punch, Poison Jab, Knockoff, Low Kick, Stab, Quick Attack, Shadow Claw, Thunder Punch, X Scissors. Oh, this sounds pretty good, doesn't it? The only thing that really hurts this thing is 90 speed, which isn't that bad. 90 speed ain't that bad. It's just sad that it has piss poor bulk. So yeah. But it's another Pokemon in the team that kind of deters Toxic Spikes against me because we have 2 Levitators who are great defoggers, Latias and Rotom Fan. We got Alolan Muck and Nihilego, which can suck up those T-Spikes. And now Zangoose, if you set up T-Spikes, I can come in and it gives me a 1.5 times attack power boost. So yeah. It also, if it just comes, I literally forgot the word I was trying to say. It deters toxic usage. So you know what? I think this thing is pretty solid. This thing could work. This thing would easily work, which is why I'm very happy to have it on the team. So, yeah. That is the team for the PWC Season 4. Carolina Masquerains. I would like to thank everyone for watching. But above all else, stay cute out there. And remember to cheer. Let's go Reigns. I'll see you guys Saturday with our team builder for week 1. Oh, catch you guys on the flip side. Stay cute.